Hey everybody, welcome back. Pardon the hat. I'm wearing the hat today because I'm having a bad hair day, and just a little joke, a little humor to start the video off. Today I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite YouTube guitar channels. We'll get into that a little bit. Now, these are all fairly large channels, with each one of them have a pretty decent subscriber base. So I doubt very much that they will be new entities to you folks. Maybe 1 or 2 of them will be, which I'm hoping. And that, you might want to tune in and check them out. If you already know them and subscribe, that's great. If you don't, it might be worthwhile to take a look. So in any event, I'm going to start off with, and these are in no particular order. These are just, 5 of my favorites. I'm going to start off with Rick Beato and his channel, which is Everything Music. And for those of you that don't know Rick has been doing this for many years. He has probably over 5 million subscribers, I think, at this point. It's ridiculous. But he does a phenomenal job of explaining theory, explaining, basics about the guitar, even keyboards to some extent. Rick is competent at both playing the piano as well as the guitar, and has a music background. And he has a whole host of tutorial videos, instructional videos on the guitar that apply to various, stages of your journey, whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or you're a proficient player. And he sells them. He sells the tapes. That helps support his channel. He does great video breakdowns of songs, what makes this song great, and gets into, the weeds on what the artist is doing on the song and why it's, so impressive, why it's ingenious in some instances. And it's just a really, really fun video sequence that he does on, what makes a song great. I find it really entertaining. But one of the things that I really, really am most impressed with on that channel are his interviews and how efficient and how great he gets into the dialogue between him and the artist. He's obviously a very bright guy and has a really, really deep musical background, so that when he talks to somebody on, for example, Sting's level or David Gilmour, right? And he speaks to a bunch of different artists, some that are very well known, others that might not be as well known. But he has just such a great musical palette that he can get into these discussions at various levels of deepness with the artist. And it comes across as just a really, really great interview. He asks the questions that you would most likely want to ask, gets them answered, and he just does a great job. And he also pulls in big names to interview. So Rick Beato, Everything Music, that's one channel. Another one is Phil McKnight. I reference him all the time. Phil McKnight's Know Your Gear channel. And one of the things I'm constantly referencing on this channel is when he does those stocking tests to determine if the fretboards are sharp on an instrument. And obviously, if the stockings come back shredded, then it means that the frets are sharp. And that's just one of the things. But he is a really, really bright, well-versed luthier. So he knows how to work on guitars. He had a guitar shop for many years, and that was his business. And so he does a really good job of reviewing instruments, demoing instruments. He has a weekly blog or chat discussion with the subscribers and anybody else who wants to tune in. And then he archives these interviews, and he highlights different timestamps for where a subject is being discussed. Just really, really well done. And he also does an extremely good job with breaking down instruments and gutting them, right? Doing a setup, a breakdown, maybe taking the guitars apart and showing you how they're constructed, and if in fact they really are good deals or not. And yeah, so Phil does a bunch of, product reviews, great chat discussion forum, great mod tips on how to fix gear, setups, you name it. Really, really informative and fun channel. So that's Phil McKnight's Know Your Gear channel that I like. A third one is Norman's Rare Guitars. Norm Harris chronicles his basic, escapades in his store in California. And Norm's been in the business many years. He has vintage guitars as well as current guitars, but he specializes in rare guitars, vintage guitars. And he has a host of them, right? Ones that you wouldn't typically find in your average music store. And he has artists like Joe Bonamassa visiting frequently, right? And a whole host of other well-known guitar. Tom Petty used to visit the store on a regular basis, was a friend of Norm's. So he has some pretty big names, going in the store. And then he shoots videos of them playing the gear, the whole bit. It's really entertaining. He has Michael Lemo, who's one of the employees in the store, great guitar player, doing, guitar of the day. And he'll go over a rare guitar and demo it, whether it's a semi-hollow or a solid body. Even acoustic guitars they do as well. And it's very educational and informative and fun because you're seeing a lot of these classic high-end guitars being demoed. Then they'll typically have videos weekly of new artists that are in the shop browsing gear. And they'll have them play a song and demo their instruments in the store as well as actually perform songs from either their current catalog, new releases, whatever. And you learn a lot about some of these, unknown artists that are actually very talented. So I find that channel to be, a very fun channel, educational channel to watch as well. Next up is Andertons, and that's, Lee Anderton, Captain Lee, and his crew, band of of folks that accompany him on the daily videos. And he does another guy similar to Rick Beato that does phenomenal interviews, and he typically has huge artists on his channel that he's interviewing about their careers, their gear, you name it, and does a great job with that. He also does a great job with demoing gear on the channel. Most of the people that work at Andertons that he's affiliated with are all really, really great musicians, and they play the gear, test the gear out. He does gear comparisons, various lines of Fender guitars, various lines of Gibson guitars. He'll compare one model versus another model and does a great job. General information on guitars. It's just a really, really good channel. That store in the UK is huge. They do a ton of business, and he gets a lot of high-end people. Slash was recently on. He gets a lot of high-end people that are in there that he's interviewing. It's a really good channel. And then finally, last but not least, is a fella named John Nathan Cordy. That's Cordy. And again, I'm going to put all these links in the description. And John's channel is a little bit different in that, he might not be as well known as some of the other major guitar players that are out there, but this guy is a phenomenal, and I'm telling you, a phenomenal guitar player and musician. He plays out with his band. I love listening to his gear demos. The guy is just, has a phenomenal touch, great style, great technique, just a pleasure to listen to, and one of my favorite guitarists on the internet. So, I listen to his stuff all the time. But what I really love about him, aside from his demos of the gear and discussions of, the gear and his perspective on reviewing the gear, are his perspectives, his personal perspectives on music, right? What works, what doesn't work, maybe about gigging, his experiences with gigging, his experiences with certain pickups and certain, guitars, guitar makeups, whether it's the tone woods or the fret materials, whatever. But it's just his perspective on gear. And it's really, really a fun, interesting experience for the consumer, the consumer on YouTube. So yeah, John Nathan Cordy, love his guitar playing, love his perspective videos, and he's a lot of fun. Great channel to watch. So yeah, in summary, I'm going to go over once again who I just referenced, right? Rick Beato's Everything Music, Phil McKnight's Know Your Gear, Norman's Rare Guitar channel, what else? Andertons Music Company channel, right? And finally, John Nathan Cordy's channel as well. There are probably a bunch of others, but these 5 come to mind as my 5 favorites that I regularly tune into. And I will put all the links in the description. Okay, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you like these videos, guys, please subscribe and please share the video. And until the next one, be well. See you soon. Take care.